excited to be back with BS Movie News Live. Star Trek Discovery. There was a teaser trailer for that, and we get to see the new ship. And, you know, it was a new ship design. I've heard that this one is supposed to take place before the Next Generation. Yeah, it didn't tell you anything. You know, I'm really excited for Star Trek Discovery, though. It's going to be on CBS. It has nothing to do with the movies, by the way. Two different companies. Like, one company owns the rights to the movies, and one company owns the television rights. So, like, they have to be, like, aired, like, 6 months apart or something. So, I'm super stoked for that. I can't wait. The guy who is, like, creating this show, what's his name? Brian Fuller? He did Hannibal, and he's like a real Star Trek fan. Like, he really loves Star Trek and like wrote some Deep Space Nine episodes and stuff. So like, I feel like this show is totally in the right hands. I'm so excited for it. Because I think Star Trek works better as a show than it does as a movie. You know, in my opinion, I don't really love a lot of the Star Trek movies, like whether it's the Shatner crew or whether it's the TNG crew or whether it's this new rebooted deal. Like, the movies have always been, I don't know, it hasn't showcased what's awesome, what I think is awesome about Star Trek, which is a lot of the philosophical quandaries that they get in. And I get that you can't have an hour and a half movie about a moral debate. I mean, I guess, I think you can, but I guess, you know, they don't want to do that. They don't want to have the big space battles and stuff. So I get it. But yeah, super stoked for that. Can't wait. January 2017. You better believe that I'm going to have a really crazy Star Trek episode to get you ready for that, to explain like why Star Trek is awesome, why you should get on board. In fact, we just bought this book called Trekonomics that just came out, and I'm going to be reading that before we do our big discussion, and it's all about the Star Trek future and how the economics of the Star Trek future work and what we can learn from that and how we can kind of try to move towards that, because, you know, our shit's a little fucked up. So I can't wait to be talking to you more about that probably in December. All right, so next up, T-Bone, what do we got? What's on the plate?
Time to do Star Trek Beyond review.
All right, so since we're talking about Star Trek, let's go and do the Star Trek Beyond review. I saw it on Thursday. And, you know, I'll say the marketing materials were really pretty. The international poster was way better than our poster. I was like, why didn't we get that poster? This time we have Justin Lin directing it. He's done the Fast and the Furious, some of those movies. And I really enjoyed his directing. I do enjoy the Fast and the Furious series, like, because it's just dumb fun, you know, like, I'm into it. You know, and him directing this movie, you know, he does a really great job of making you just, like, go, like, okay, whatever, we're just having fun and just going with it. And I totally was doing that in this movie. There's things about this movie that I really liked, and then there's also things about this movie that I really didn't like. It's, like, better than the last one, Star Trek Into Darkness. Like, I don't even remember that one. But this one I liked better. My favorite part of the movie was, like, kind of the first 20, 30 minutes, like, before we get into the conflict. Because we got to kind of just hang out with the characters a little bit. And that's my thing about Star Trek, is I just like these characters and I like hanging out with them. And I think that this cast is phenomenal. Like, I love the casting. I love Chris Pine as Kirk. He's just doing a really great job. Carl Urban as Bones is, like, amazing. He's like, Carl Urban's the best. He's got, like, the best hair award. And then Zachary Quinto as Spock is just, like, hot. Like, it's just crazy. Like, those three guys are so freaking hot. There's so many hot dudes in this series. And Simon Pegg as Scotty is great. Like, I love everybody. I'm super bummed that Anton's not going to be back, and I don't know. We'll see what they do with that. And I love that Simon Pegg, I mean, he wrote this with Nick Frost, and that was really cool. But I just felt like once the action picked up, it just never stopped, and I just got a little tired, and I was just like, man, I just want to hang out with them and not, like, see them sliding around, like, everywhere and, like, being banged around all the time, you know?
Never stopped.
Yeah, it really didn't stop. Although, I mean, the big climactic scene, like, spoilers, there's, like, this really crazy scene with, like, well, I won't spoil it, but there's this really crazy scene, and there's a Beastie Boys song behind it that they used in the first movie. And, I mean, it's sick. Like, I mean, I was like, whoa! Like, it's a fun ride, for sure. Like, I really had a lot of fun at those moments. But at the same time, you know, I just want to see more character interaction. And I felt like the villain was really weak, okay? He was really weak. Idris Elba, and this is not his fault, because Idris Elba, I love him. I think he's an amazing actor. But they just covered him in all this fucking makeup. Okay, here's the plot device that they were using. is, and this is something I'm tired of in all movies, Marvel movies, like all movies use this all the time, is I gotta get the thing to kill the people, you know, and then I'm mad, and I'm gonna, like in Guardians of the Galaxy, I gotta get that purple thing so I can kill everybody. I gotta, you know, it's always some fucking deal. And yeah, some ultimate MacGuffin weapon, and you know, that was going on in this as well, and I was just like, and I felt bad for Idris Elba, because I felt like it was a real waste of his talents, and I thought that they made him kind of look stupid, and like, that's not him, like, that's not on him. That was just like, I don't know, you know, the Swarm, Mark, you're talking about the Swarm, reminding you of Battlestar scene. Yeah, the Swarm stuff was crazy, like when he's like, cut the neck, and like, like, that was, the kamikaze fucking Swarm deal was super nuts. Like, yeah, I mean, the Swarm was crazy. It was really fun. Like, it was really, like, visually, like, amazing. But here's my biggest thing that I'm frustrated with this series, okay? All right, so I got the hots for Spock, all right? And, like, in the first movie, we have Spock and Uhura, and they're like, oh, they're gonna get together, you know, and they have that kiss, and you're like, oh man, like they're gonna have this relationship, you know, and I'm like so stoked, like I want to see their goddamn relationship so bad. And then we watch the second movie, and then they're like on the outs or something, and like they're just like it's I don't know, they're having a hard time. And then in the third movie, they're broken up, and like their entire relationship takes place off screen, and I'm like really bummed on that. Like I really want to see their relationship, and I think that that's what Star Trek is a lot of times, is like all these different weird relationships and like how they interact with one another, and I was really interested to see those two in particular. And instead we got a lot of Spock and Bones, which was also, I mean, I would say that they're the main characters of the film, because like they're definitely up there the most, and they had a really great rapport with one another. Carl Urban and Zachary Quinto were really great with one another. I really liked it a lot. They were the great odd couple. I did want to see more medicine on the frontier, you know what I'm saying? Like there was like one scene where like Bones had to like do some like frontier medicine stuff, and I wanted to see a little bit more of that, you know. I wanted to see, but you know, whatever. They did a little bit of it.
Costumes.
But costumes were great. I loved their new jackets. Their jackets and their pants looked so cool. When I saw it at the ArcLight, and they actually had some of the costumes at the ArcLight, and I totally was like taking pictures of that one costume because it looked so good. And I will say this though, I did really like the character of Jayla, the girl, the white-faced alien girl with the black like little deals on her face. I thought she was really great. I loved her sparkly like cloaking tech. I thought that was really, as a chick, I was like, dude, I want some of that sparkly cloaking tech. And like, I loved that she was a teenager. I loved that nobody hit on her. And I love in the end when, you know, they're like, oh, why don't you join up with Starfleet? And she's like, sure. And like, I thought that was really great. But yeah, I will say this also, the cool space station was cool. You know, I loved it when Bones was just like, looks like a snow globe in space, just waiting to get busted up, you know. And he was right, like it totally was. And I loved like how it had the different gravities, and it was like, you know, the river, it's just it's so cool. Like that looked really cool. That looked very Star Trek-y, very futuristic. I really enjoyed that aspect of it a lot. I just wish we could hang out there a little bit more, you know? I want to hang out in that city, you know? I don't want to see it getting destroyed and the air ducts. I want to fucking hang out, you know? Would I live on that space station? I have to agree with McCoy on this one. That looks, I mean, I would visit, but like, I don't know if I would live there, because that does look like a giant snow globe in space just waiting to get just burst everywhere, you know? I find myself really relating to Bones, I think, the most in the crew. I feel like, because I'm kind of like, that's not gonna work, you know? And he's, you know, and you're generally right, like, but everyone's like, oh, you're just being an asshole. So, yeah. Star Trek Beyond, there was stuff I really liked about it. I did enjoy watching it, but I just, you know, want a little bit more Star Trek in my Star Trek. Just a little bit more Star Trek in my Star Trek. We're getting closer. I love this cast. I want to see, it's so close. Like, it's so close. I want to see what's going on. And I heard a rumor that Thor, Chris Hemsworth, is supposed to be showing up again, who played Kirk's dad in the first one. He, like, dies in that fucking scene in the very first one. That's like, I like cry every time I see that scene. I don't know why. It really gets me. And so good. And yeah, so I guess there might be some more time travel shenanigans. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll see. I'm gonna definitely be there though to watch Star Trek 4.
What's your favorite Star Trek movie?
What's my favorite Star Trek movie? mean,
How about at least of this new series?
I guess like, well, of the new series,
Yeah, first
of the new series, I like the first one the best for sure. I think that one was really really strong. I did like First Contact. That was the Borg one with like, and then Data gets the skin and he like is with the Borg Queen. Like I don't know, I like that one. I thought that one was cool as well. But man, all right, let's move on. Next up, we're gonna do Mr. Robot. It's been season 2 has been on. There's 3 episodes that have been out. I have seen all 3 of them. Man, this show is so cinematic. It's really amazing. It's like the best show on television. I really can't tell you enough how much you should be watching this show, okay? Like, just trust me. Just trust me. Like, you will not be disappointed, okay? Like, it's so good. We just did a Mr. Robot Season 1 review. That's up on our YouTubes if you want to go check that out. But I highly recommend watching the first season, getting into the second season if you're not doing it already. Like, I know that the title is stopping you from watching it because it stopped me from watching it. Someone's like, "Oh, watch Mr. Robot." I'm like, "Mr. Robot? What is that? That sounds I don't know what that is, you know?" But now, like, once you watch the show, you're like, holy fuck, that has to be called Mr. Robot, and I'm super glad it's called that, and it couldn't be called anything else. So give it a chance, guys. Just trust me on this one, okay? You know, I was talking about Game of Thrones before it blew up, and I was telling you guys this shit's sick and awesome, and then guess what? It was. So this is another one of those, all right? Like, just take my advice. And then, all right, we're going to do a little bit of a comic corner here. So today, we're going to be talking about Steve Lichtman, Volume 1. This was a Kickstarted project I donated, and I'm so glad that I did. And this is created by Dan Warren and Dave Raposa. It's really funny, like, Tyson Wheeler is a really big fan of Dave Raposa. You may remember some of his work. He got kind of blown up on the internet for doing these really photorealistic digital paintings of Ninja Turtles. And I remember I met him. I went to his booth at New York Comic Con a few years ago, and I bought the Leonardo print from him, gave it to T-Bone as a present, and it was like signed. It's like so nice. It's framed. It looks so great. You're welcome. And yeah, so, you know, when I heard that when he was doing this, you know, I was like, all right, I'm on board. We ended up meeting Dan Warren. He was a writer on this. I met him at New York Comic Con last year. We went to the Blood Rave together, the Blade Rave thing, and that was awesome. Like, and these guys are just amazing. Like, they did all of this by themselves. Like, I've been seeing their Facebook posts about, like, the nightmare of shipping, you know, because it's like, oh man, I've been there. It's super nuts. But look at, like, this is so thick, okay? This is, like, such a thick comic book. And it's all about this guy, Steve Lichtman. He's a Lich King. You know, he lives in a dungeon. You know, he's this little skeleton dude. And he hangs out with his kind of loser monster friends in this dungeon, and it's really funny. Like, they have this Dracula friend who's like a total douche. I love this like evil little box that like wants to chomp your hand. I think his name's Chomp. There's like a little stoner eyeball guy named Ben who's like just covered in eyeballs, and he gets stoned with his friend Mandusa, because he's not a female Medusa. He's a Mandusa. And so, yeah, it's just all about them, like, hanging out, doing their thing, you know, trying to, I don't know, make their way in the world. It's, like, it's really cute. Steve Lichtman himself is, like, he's a middle path guy, you know. He's very chill. He's trying to kind of, like, delegate between all of these, like, different groups of friends. There's bullies, you know, there's these bullies, like, a Minotaur guy, yeah, and, like, a Cyclops guy that bully them and, like, call them lamos and stuff like that. It's really good stuff. So Steve Lichtman, Volume 1. I believe it's on Amazon. I think you guys can purchase it for reals now. But I highly recommend it. It's just the best. It's just like, oh, I'm so glad I got this. I remember, like, I remember Dan Warren emailed me like a PDF of like the whole thing before it came out bound, and I started reading it, and I thought it was so funny that I stopped reading the PDF because I just wanted to sit down with the book in my hand, because I'm against reading shit on a computer. I just don't like doing it, and I wanted to have the full experience of reading it. And when I got this in the mail, man, I like plopped down and just plowed through this. Like, I've given it to like 2 other friends of mine. I got 2 other copies, and I gave them away to, like, I'm just like, you guys are gonna love this, like, check it out. So yeah, Steve Lichtman, Volume 1, fantastic. I don't know if you guys have seen, like, I'm sure everybody's looking at, cosplay photos from Comic-Con, but a couple of friends of mine, Sig Neutron and Ranny, they do this Bizarro A Go-Go thing. They had a really hilarious cosplay that, like, really blew up. I've seen a lot of pictures of them on the internet where they were doing a Pokemon Go / Mad Max Fury Road mashup where Ranny was like a female Immortan Joe, but then she had and they had like this thing that said Team Valhalor and like their little Pokeballs and stuff all over them, and like Sig was a war boy. It was really funny. They also did this really amazing makeup on Ranny for Sideshow Collectibles. They have this Court of the Dead, which I've been seeing that stuff at cons for a couple years now, and like it looks so cool. There's these amazing like Death God figurines, and so Sig and Ranny created like a whole makeup for her to wear of one of those, like the Zeal character. He was like this bone chick, and it like, oh my god, it looked so good. I'm so proud of my friends. Like, they're really cool. I'm just like, you guys go. Like, I'm so proud. There's also been some news about Mystery Science Theater 3000 coming back, and I heard it got picked up by Netflix. So I'm super excited. I'm a big proponent of Netflix and Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's still Joel Hodgson and the crew. It's got like Bill Corbett and Mary Jo Fell and all the people. Like, they're supposed to be back. So I'm super stoked. The only thing that I'm bummed on is that I'm not on the show. So that's like my only thing, is like I want to be on Mystery Science Theater because like that's the deal. And in fact, this Friday, we're kind of doing my very own first Mystery Science Theater 3000. We're doing a watch with me.
Well, it's not that.
Well, I mean, it is that.
More relaxed.
It's a little more, well, we don't have pre-written jokes, but like whatever. But we're going to be watching Catwoman. So if you are a patron, if you're on the $10 and up level, you're going to get a private link and time and all this stuff. And we are going to watch Catwoman together, and it's going to be hilarious. So, just put that on your hats. It's going to be a lot of fun. So Orestes asks, what do I think about Ghost Rider on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I am excited. I heard that it's Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, and on that I'm super stoked for because I really love that character. He's like this great character from the Marvel Now stuff that just like I really fell in love with. So I'm super excited to see his character on screen. Although I'm not an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. person. Like, I'm not really a fan of that show, and I don't know exactly how they're going to handle having like a demonic character on there. I feel like I'd rather see him in a Netflix series, like, I mean, you have Hell's Kitchen. Why don't we start an LA like superhero deal, right? And then we can have, Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes in LA, Netflix series. I mean, I don't know, just saying. I really think though, also, I want to see like Moon Knight show up in some Netflix business, Like, I want to see some Moon Knight business going on. In fact, you could do like Moon Knight, he's been in LA before. He's been in both New York and LA. So like we could have like an LA thing with, this is just my fan castings here. I'm just being an asshole. One more question from T. Oh, Joss Whedon would like to return to direct a Black Widow Marvel movie. Yes. Yes, please. Yes. Joss Whedon, I friggin' love him. He knows how to deal with badass female characters who are awesome and have depth. And I think he's the man for the job, I think that they worked him to death on Avengers 2. I don't think that was his fault. I think that he did everything that his masters over at Marvel wanted him to, and unfortunately just wasn't, like, Ultron is not the deal. Like, they shouldn't, like, Marvel's always had a problem with having weak villains, and I think Ultron was just fucking sucky, So, yes, I'm down for Joss Whedon. Yes, I co-sign this, yes. Najib asks, what about Brie Larson as Captain Marvel? I'm in. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see her. I think she's going to kill it. There was a lot of rumors going around of who they were going to cast, and like, I think I'm down. I'm down with Brie Larson. I was like, what's that other girl, the Battlestar Galactica girl? There was a lot of people talking about her. What's her name? Katie Sackhoff. I heard she looks the part. But I think that Brie Larson's going to fit right in. I wonder if they're going to do like short-haired Captain Marvel, though, you know, like, because Carol Danvers has, like, short blonde hair now. So, but she hasn't always had short blonde hair. Like, sometimes she's had longer, you know. It's like, so we'll see what happens. I kind of hope, I mean, obviously I kind of like short hair, so hope they go with that version. I haven't seen the trailers for Luke Cage or the Defenders or Iron Fist yet. Are they actually doing the Iron Fist thing? Because I've been hearing, like, back and forth. Okay. I'm down. I'm really excited about Netflix doing their whole weird superhero deal going on. Like, I think that's one of the most interesting things that they're doing right now. And I'm fucking stoked. I'm stoked. More Luke Cage, please, because he was awesome. I think that, especially right now, like, culturally, I think Luke Cage is really fucking important. Like, I think that he is the one, and he's going to be talking about some issues that should be talked about in a really great way, and I can't wait to see him doing it. Like, he's the best. I hope him and Jessica Jones, I hope they kind of get back together. Defenders, yeah, I'm down. I want to see him team up. I want to see the whole thing. I'm in. I want to see Elektra in her goddamn costume, though. They better bring her back when she's evil bitch out of that pot. She better be wearing a fucking costume. Or I'm gonna be pissed. Man, they keep fucking teasing me with these costumes. It's like Daredevil, you don't need to wait till the last episode of the season to give him the costume or to give him the sticks or to give him an upgrade, you know. We can do that a little sooner in the series, you know. Just saying. Yes, Brent, I want a bulletproof black superhero, please. Me too, Brent. I am all about it, because that is definitely, like I said, culturally appropriate for what's going on right now. I'm like 99.9% certain that I'm going to create a Dazzler cosplay outfit for the new Dazzler A-Force situation. Take a picture of that. And also, if you guys didn't know, we did a body paint Dark Phoenix cosplay, and we took the pictures. They look great. We just gotta, like, composite me in space now. So we're working on... Yeah, Photoshop is in progress. We gotta get the background going. And then we're gonna be selling some posters of that. I haven't decided exactly how many I'm gonna make. I'm thinking I'm gonna make, like, only 100, because I don't wanna have a bunch of backstock in my closet, because that's where all my posters are. Limited edition, baby. 100 posters. So that should be coming out pretty soon. Hopefully in the next few weeks. We'll see. You know, it's touch and go here. All right, we're just two people. It's a wild thing that we're doing. All right, we've hit our hour. If you didn't know, as I said earlier, we have a Patreon going on out there. So if you want to support the free content that you love, go on over to Patreon. You get some sweet perks. Even just, like, donating $1 a month. I mean, that shit, like, really helps. Like, you don't even know, okay? Like, it's awesome. And I'm so glad that, you know, you guys have supported us for the past 4 years, because we're not funded by some big friggin' company. Like, we're not. And that's why our content is as awesome as it is because it's just us two, and we get to make whatever we want to make, and it's honest. It's honest for our feelings, and we don't have, like, overlords to deal with. So, and we want to keep it that way. We want to stay that way, because we have had offers of people that want to buy our show, but it's like, no, you guys are idiots and you're going to ruin it, so we're not going to let that happen. So yeah, so check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/comicbookgirl19. We have a lot of amazing super patrons right now. Like, God, you guys are killing it. Like, I just sent out a bunch of packages to our super patrons. I got a couple more stragglers I got to get out. There's like 2 or 3 more that I'm still working on, but I got most of them out, you guys. I'm super proud of myself. Pat on the back. You don't even know. Packaging stuff, it's not the deal, all right? It's not the deal in life. But that's why we're doing this Patreon, so I can hire my girl Vicky to do packages for me, so I can just focus on making awesome content for you guys. So that's it for today. BS Movie News Live. Join us again next week. It's same time, same bat place. We're going to be here 6 p.m. And we're going to hopefully have a brand new set. We're going to have a ridiculous fucking Hollywood mountain behind me that's made out of plaster and chicken wire, okay? Like, it's like that. It's taking up my entire parking spot in the garage. Okay, I have to park on... Oh, it's a real mountain. Okay, yeah, we're making a real mountain. We're cloning it. And, yeah, so check it out. And we're going to rebrand, and it's going to be hot. And so, yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Over and out.